The Dead Sea is like no other place on Earth. Nestled at the lowest point on the planet, its waters are nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean, creating an environment so extreme that almost nothing can survive. Yet beneath its seemingly lifeless surface, mysteries are waiting to be uncovered. But what makes the Dead Sea so incredibly salty? Why can't fish or plants survive here? And what hidden mysteries are buried beneath its depths? In this video, we'll dive into the science behind the Dead Sea's extreme environment, uncover the rare life forms that manage to exist, and explore the bizarre formations and sinkholes that are reshaping this ancient landscape. The Dead Sea is one of the most extraordinary places on Earth, not just because of its dramatic name, but due to the unique natural forces that shape it. Despite being called a sea, it is actually a massive saltwater lake located between Israel and Jordan in the Great African-Syrian Rift. Sitting at 423 meters below sea level, the lowest point on Earth, this ancient body of water has fascinated travelers for thousands of years. But what truly makes it special is its unmatched salinity, with almost 10 times saltier than the ocean. Unlike most lakes, the Dead Sea has no outlet. Water from the Jordan River constantly flows in, but instead of escaping through rivers or streams, it simply evaporates under the scorching Middle Eastern sun. This process, happening for thousands of years, leaves behind a dense concentration of salt and minerals, transforming the Dead Sea into one of the saltiest environments on the planet. Because of this extreme salinity, no fish or aquatic plants can survive here, giving the lake its ominous name. The Dead Sea's extreme salinity doesn't just make it unique, it also makes it one of the most inhospitable places for life. In most lakes and oceans, a delicate balance of salt and water allows fish, plants, and microorganisms to thrive. However, in the Dead Sea, this balance is completely disrupted, creating an environment where survival is nearly impossible. The reason lies in its astonishingly high salt concentration, nearly 10 times saltier than the ocean. To put it into perspective, while seawater contains about 3.5% salt, the Dead Sea holds a staggering 34% salt content. This extreme salinity turns the water into a harsh, almost alien-like habitat, where only the toughest microbes can endure. For most living organisms, survival depends on a process called osmosis, which helps maintain the right balance of water and salt inside their cells. However, in the Dead Sea, this delicate balance is completely thrown off. The salt content is so overwhelming that it pulls moisture out of cells, causing rapid dehydration and, ultimately, death. For fish and other aquatic creatures, entering these waters would be like stepping into a giant salt trap, shriveling them from the inside out. Even some of the world's toughest life forms, such as bacteria and algae, organisms known for thriving in extreme conditions, struggle to survive in the Dead Sea's briny depths. Although the Dead Sea's extreme salinity makes it nearly uninhabitable, it isn't entirely devoid of life. Hidden within its dense, mineral-rich waters, a few remarkable survivors have adapted to thrive in this extreme environment. These are halophiles, microscopic organisms whose name means salt lovers. Unlike most life forms that would shrivel up and die in the Dead Sea's intense salinity, these microbes have developed specialized cell membranes and proteins that allow them to retain water and withstand the harsh conditions. Among them are halophilic bacteria and archaea, some of the most resilient microorganisms on Earth. These tiny yet powerful life forms flourish where almost nothing else can, proving that even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way. But the Dead Sea's most fascinating transformation happens after heavy rainfall. When rare storms bring fresh water, the salinity temporarily decreases, creating just enough balance for an ancient algae called Dunaliella salina to spring to life. This hardy algae produces reddish pigments, and when its population explodes, it can turn the Dead Sea's waters into a surreal shade of red or orange. This eerie phenomenon has been observed for centuries, sparking myths and legends about the sea's mysterious nature. Some historical accounts even describe the water as appearing blood red, leading to speculation and folklore about supernatural events. While the water is famous for its extreme saltiness, strange and otherworldly formations have taken shape beneath. Massive salt chimneys and crystal-covered caves, sculpted over thousands of years. These underwater salt formations resemble frozen waterfalls or coral reefs made entirely of salt, creating an alien-like landscape. As the Dead Sea shrinks, an even more dramatic transformation is occurring on land. Giant sinkholes, some large enough to swallow entire buildings, are appearing along its shores. These sudden collapses happen as freshwater seeps underground, dissolving buried salt layers and creating unstable voids. Over 6,000 sinkholes have already opened up, turning parts of the Dead Sea's coastline into a dangerous, ever-changing landscape. Deeper within its waters, the Dead Sea's lack of oxygen and high salt levels may have perfectly preserved ancient artifacts, fossils, or even lost settlements. Some researchers suggest that remnants of long-forgotten civilizations remain buried in the muddy depths, waiting to be uncovered. Much of the Dead Sea's history remains a mystery, but this so-called Dead Sea is filled with life's greatest wonders both above and below the surface. The Dead Sea is undergoing a dramatic transformation, but its most urgent change is its rapid decline. Its water level is dropping by over a meter each year, primarily due to the diversion of the Jordan River for agriculture and human consumption, leaving less and less water to replenish the sea. Unlike most bodies of water, the Dead Sea has no natural outlet, meaning the water that enters can only escape through evaporation, an issue worsened by the region's scorching heat. As a result, salt concentrations continue to rise, and the sea is slowly shrinking, breaking apart into smaller, mineral-rich pools. Scientists and environmentalists are racing to find solutions, including the proposed Red Sea Dead Sea Water Conveyance Project, which would pump water from the Red Sea to stabilize its levels. Other efforts focus on conservation and restoring water flow from the Jordan River, but the future remains uncertain. Without intervention, one of Earth's most unique and historic landscapes could disappear within decades. The Dead Sea is a place of extremes, unparalleled salinity, alien-like landscapes, and hidden mysteries buried beneath its depths. Despite its name, it is far from lifeless, harboring resilient microorganisms and witnessing breathtaking natural phenomena. But while the Dead Sea has endured for thousands of years, its future is uncertain. As water levels continue to drop and sinkholes reshape its shores, the fate of this extraordinary wonder hangs in the balance. Will science and conservation efforts be enough to preserve it? Or are we witnessing the slow disappearance of one of Earth's most unique landscapes? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the Dead Sea will continue to captivate and mystify for generations to come. Thanks for exploring the mysteries and science of the Dead Sea with us. If you enjoyed exploring interesting stories with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. What topics do you want us to dive into next? Let us know in the comments. Join us as we get animated about science here at Animated Science.